Alrighty, well, now I'm going to start backtracking my hike. When this is information I wrote about my hike. I had met an individual named Puddles at the beginning of my hike, and at the end of my hike, he ended up being living in my college town. Okay, so now this is there's more information to this, but I'm going to leave some of it out just for the spectators and the listeners to start spinning their thoughts and dwelling in what's really going on here. Um, Go ahead and just read through this. Um, Puddles was another victim. Okay, we had gone out in his vehicle, and somehow I had what to call it. I had fell asleep in his passenger seat and awoken in his driver's seat with the car moving out of a trance. Someone hypnotized me and moved me into the driver's seat, had the vehicle driving, and I woke up and my hand, he was holding my hand like a cheeseburger and biting my finger. Okay? And when he was holding my hand like a cheeseburger and biting my finger, he bit it so hard that my finger started to bleed and it was black and blue for like a week. And he bit my finger so hard that I punched him to let go of my finger. And by that time, I realized I was behind the wheel of a moving vehicle, and it was his vehicle. But I don't know how this happened because I went to sleep. I remember the last thing I remember is giving him his car keys because he said he wanted to drive the vehicle, and then he got in the vehicle and we drove away. And we were right across like a block away from Middle Tennessee State University, and he lives out in the sticks. He lives like 5 or 6 miles out into the like out in the country, right? Well, somehow, somehow, freaking yeah, somehow I got in the driver's seat. Well, after I punch him to get off my finger, he opens up the car door and jumps out of the moving vehicle. I believe he was controlled to do this. Why would you jump out of a moving vehicle? I mean, you just don't do that. Um, and then I got all freaked out, so I was going to go and drive to his house and just wait for him there because I was pissed off he bit my finger. And somehow my arms were controlled to drive into like a little ditch. It wasn't really a ditch, it was just like in the grass on the side of the road. And then I was pissed off again because I went to go drive out of the ditch and I couldn't drive. So I got out of the vehicle. And I started walking to the gas station, which was like 5 or 6 miles away. That was the gas station that's right in front of a Walmart. And I was going to go and see if I could find some help to get first see if I could find Puddles. And second, Puddles' real name is Tristan. You could look up his actual name if you look up the car I got a DUI in. Um, that vehicle was supposedly towed after I got a DUI in it. Um, when I went to I had someone pick me up and gave me a ride to the gas station. When I got to the gas station, I found someone with a truck. They said, "Yeah, I'll help you." And I hopped in their truck and they gave me a ride to the vehicle. And then they had a chain, and I said, "Okay, well, hook it up, and I'll put it in reverse, and you can pull me, and I'll go backwards, and you can pull me out." Well, the guy just hooked the chain up to the bottom of the bumper and not to the hitch. Well, he was a redneck, and I assumed that, hey, you knew how to hook it up. Well, he pulled the bumper off of Puddle's car. And then after this, there's what's it called? A police officer randomly just shows up out of the blue, like with flashing lights on, coming around the corner. And by this time, I had already said fuck it, and I was walking down the road. I was like 100 feet away from the car already, 300 feet away from the car, And the police officer just all of a sudden knew I was the one that was near the car, and he flagged me over. And then he immediately put cuffs on me. He immediately took me to jail, did not administer a breathalyzer test, did not administer a blood test, did not give me a sobriety test, just took me straight to jail. And then that was pretty much it. And then I had got a DUI, and then because of COVID, they were saying I was gonna have to stay in jail for 35 days. So I was like, "Fuck this, dude! I'll just say," because I have like horror stories of being in jail. So I was like, "Fuck this! I'm just gonna fucking what's it call it? I am just going to." And here's a little something that this is this is where, like, right around here somewhere. That's Walmart in the center there on Highway 70. And right where that blue circle is right around where he jumped out of the vehicle. Okay. And then we had started on the corner of Ewing and Crescent. That's where I got in the vehicle. And that is where we departed from. Now, the next when he got his vehicle back, there was McDonald's in the vehicle. And me and him didn't have any money on us, and we don't know how we got McDonald's because neither of us had money. And also, uh, what else was there? There was something else weird that I can't remember. But yeah, like, can you check this evening and see if there was a 911 call, investigators or news stations? Because if there was no 911 call, how did the police just randomly show up out in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere with flashing lights on? That's another thing that comes to my mind. If you read the letter that the letter that I just typed up that I was scrolling through, um, how did is there a way that we could check street cams or anything to prove that he did drive away in his vehicle and I was passed out in the passenger seat? If we did go to McDonald's, was he the one through the drive-through camera window that if you checked the drive-through camera, was he the one driving? I didn't have any money. He didn't have any money. If he had some money, I didn't know about it, and he said he didn't. But there's ways to check and see if we got switched in the vehicle somewhere. But this is something that happened in Tennessee. And then immediately after this, I get taken to the woods because, well, after this, I get released from jail after like 7 days. And then I go to, what's it called? Here, hold on a second. I'll pull it up. The saga continues. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one that says the saga continues. Oh, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. The saga continues. It will come up. There we go. Here we go. And this is what happens afterward. Okay. So now, when he says that I cannot stay at his household anymore. So, what happens is he said he gives me my hiking backpack. He says that his mom is pissed off because the bumpers pulled off his car. He's borrowing his mom's car. Then he drives me down to like McDonald's at the end of what's it called? He drives me to McDonald's at the end of down where like the river is in Murfreesboro. And then from there, I get like lured into a bunch of like random street kids that are living in the woods. I end up living on the like out on the train tracks and out by the river and camping out for like 2 to 4 weeks. I can't remember how long it was, with these individuals out there. They ended up, we ended up using substances together, and that I did not want to. When I got there, I told them no, I just want to smoke weed, and they'd use synthetic frequencies to get me to do drugs with them against my free will. And then they had scared the fucking shit out of me, and they said I thought they were going to kill me. They kept on reading my mind. There was a woman named Mama D. There was also a woman named Mama J. I believe that they portrayed herself as witches. Um, but now what stuck out was, these individuals, what's it called? There was a time where supposedly two detectives came out to where we were camping, brought us brown bags, and they were, or excuse me, white bag sack lunches on a plastic tray, and it was a plastic tray and sacked lunches from the jailhouse. Okay, so these individuals brought us lunches from jail, and then from there, they commenced to puppeteer me and show off a whole bunch of different magic tricks through me, and it was like we were brokering and trading magic. Um, this is why I assumed, no one's ever told me out loud, but I assumed that it was a simulation because, and there was also a master hypnotist there, and he chooses not to say his name. I've already contacted him once, and he says do not mention me. He didn't say do not mention me. He said I was not there, but I know he was fucking there. I looked at him straight in his fucking eyes, and he knows that goddamn well he was there. But I guess because this is all so controversial, he wishes not to. I had then since been in contact with other hypnotists in the Nashville area, and I've been told that I was MK Ultra'd. They did not let me speak to them. They said because of what you know and who you are, we do not want you speaking to us. Just let me talk to you, and I will tell you what to do. And they gave me a list of people to contact, and one of the people to contact was David Wilcox. David Wilcox is someone where I read the Synchronicity Key, and that book is one of the books that had showed me how to be a better psychic, because it teaches you how every movie that's ever made has a synchronistic storyline, as well as other algorithms that are set in time that you could base things off of. Um, and from here, they scared the shit out of me, and I had ran away from their campsite. I had tried to call the cops because I thought they were going to kill me. And my phone did not work when I dialed 911. My phone glitched out and turned off. So I wasn't able to contact the police. So I climbed up on the roof of a building and started jumping up and down like a crazy person screaming for help because I didn't know what to do. And then immediately so I flagged someone down and they called the police, and the police called an ambulance because they thought I was off my rocker, because that's the only way I was able to get out of there. I was scared to call the cops on them because I thought they were going to kill me. And they were all standing on the other side of the street watching me like some occultist would or something. And they watched me get put on a gurney and taken to the hospital, the emergency room. There, I stayed there for 2 days. I was supposed to get a video meeting with a doctor from a place in Nashville, but for some reason the computer glitched out and they couldn't do it. So they had to transport me to Nashville. And when I got to Nashville, I was in the hospital, and the psych wing, and I told the doctor that I thought I was crazy and I was hearing voices, and the doctor was controlled by these synthetic frequencies, and the doctor says, "No, Chris, you're not crazy." He brought me immediately, somehow, used the frequencies to bring me straight to the root of all my issues. He calmed me down. I was able to call my mother, And my mother immediately drove down with my sister-in-law a straight 12 hours without ever stopping, and then drove 12 hours all the way back. And from there, I was at my parents' house. And for 2 weeks after that, I was scared shitless. They still had me, they had me like break all my SIM cards out of my cell phone that I had, which it wasn't on anyway, but they still made me break, they had me break my cell phones, which one of them is still there. The oldest cell phone on the broken cell phone picture is one of the cell phones from the hike. I had brought a thing of Carmex that had Mama D's DNA on it. And when I was in Northampton County Jail, it disappeared out of my nightstand. Um, so yeah, some weird shit, man. And then, but after that, after the 2 weeks, 2 weeks of, after 2 weeks of being scared straight at my parents' house here in Bangor, PA, they had someone had channeled to me and started teaching me hypnosis and NLP. And I went on like a 6 month sobriety NLP and hypnosis training lesson. And that's when I was trained on everything, um post post all my alchemy training in the Northwest. I was retrained again on hypnosis and NLP and conversational hypnosis and mentalism. And this is when I started writing books on mentalism and how to be a psychic and things like that. And after I'm done with my full reports here, I will be teaching I will be teaching mentalism, and I will be teaching magic, and I will be teaching how to plant seeds and neural language programming. Um, After I'm done with all of my psychic detective reports. Immediately after this, I was sent over to Dennis Gordon's to work for him. So I don't know if I was trained up and my license was taken away to go over there and investigate Dennis Gordon, but they have when I was trained. We'll go into how what some techniques that were used and how I was trained to maintain a placebo effect later on. But I'll leave you guys with this right now.